Hi everyone, I'm Amanda from Easy English Online. Today I'm going to talk about multiple ways to introduce yourself to someone with typical topics of conversation, which I'm sure will come in very handy to all of you guys who are learning English out there. Now there's a lot to talk about here, so I'm going to split the topic up into 3 separate videos, so don't forget to watch all 3 videos. As always, to accompany the video, I've prepared some notes for you to download. I will explain how you can download them at the end of the video. So for now, just sit back and enjoy the lesson. So let's start with the most common question we may need to ask when we first meet someone. When we want to ask someone what their name is, we say, "What is your name?" What is your name? You can, of course, just simply ask, "What is your name?" Or if you feel this sounds a little abrupt, you could try softening it by asking, "May I ask you what your name is?" Or would you mind telling me your name? So how would we answer this? Well, we could simply say, "My name is," and then your name. So my name is. This is the most common way to tell people our name. So you'd say, "My name is Amanda. My name is Sandra. My name is Paul." If you feel uncomfortable asking someone's name, there is another way you can find out their name which sounds less direct, and that's simply to introduce yourself first. So you could say, "Hi, my name is Amanda. I'm your new English teacher. And you are?" And then the other person will hopefully answer with, "My name is Peter," or "Hi, I'm Katie." If you have forgotten someone's name, the minute after they've just told you, it can be a little bit embarrassing. We've all done it. Maybe you've forgotten their name the next time you see them. Just as embarrassing. So in this situation, you could simply say, "I'm sorry, what did you say your name was?" You're apologizing here, which does sound polite. And also, by using the word "was" in the sentence, you are telling the person that you may have forgotten their name, but you haven't forgotten them. "I apologize. Could you repeat your name again?" Here, you're apologizing again, which is polite, and are using the word "again," which again shows you haven't forgotten them. If you feel uncomfortable about that, you could ask, "Do you have a nickname?" This is a shortened name that someone might call themselves. "Do you have a nickname?" The person may say, "No, people just call me Michael." Or he might say, "Yes, my friends call me Mick." Okay, so what if we would like to know how old somebody is? This can be a very controversial topic, and as it can be very rude to ask people in some cultures how old they are, especially to women who may prefer to keep their age to themselves. However, in some cultures, it is perfectly acceptable to ask how old somebody is. If you feel it's appropriate to ask someone's age, you could simply say, "How old are you? How old are you?" "What age are you?" This is more formal. "What age are you?" So how do we answer these questions? We could simply say, "I am 15 years old. I'm 15 years old. My son is 5 years old. My son is 5 years old. My puppy is 4 months old. My puppy's 4 months old." A lot of native speakers would simply say, "I'm 15. I'm 35. Or they would probably just say the number 15, 35. It's grammatically incorrect, however, to say 15 years. This would definitely be incorrect. Or 35 years. You do need to add old here. So it's 15 years old. 35 years old. Now, if you then prefer not to give your age, you could answer with, I prefer not to say my age. And of course, this is perfectly acceptable to say this. I prefer not to say my age. Or I prefer not to disclose my age. This is a lot more formal, but perfectly fine too. I prefer not to disclose my age. So another common question that we ask when we meet up with someone, we often say, how are you? How are you? I'm fine, thank you. We find ourselves saying these same phrases again and again, don't we? Let's look at how to ask, how are you? This can sometimes sound quite formal to a native speaker. Can you think of a way we can ask and answer this question in a more natural way, perhaps? There are so many ways of asking, how are you? But sometimes we do need to be careful because some of these phrases don't work in all situations. So let's start with looking at some alternative ways of saying, how are you? In informal situations. We could say, how's everything going? Or simply, how's it going? What's going on? We could say, what's new with you? How are you keeping? How are things with you? We could say, what's up? How are you doing? Long time no see. You all right? This one's very British. In fact, if you say this outside the UK, you might get looked at very strangely. It's also shortened to, all right. Now, what about more formal situations, like talking to your boss or talking to royalty? How would you ask, how are you? A bit more formally. So you could say, how do you do? This is very formal and could possibly be asked while shaking hands in a formal setting like an interview. How have you been? Are you well? Okay, so let's now look at how to answer, how are you? If someone asks, how are you? Or how's it going? Or what's up? The classic response is, I'm fine, thanks, right? But this can sound a little bit boring after a while. So let's try some different responses. What can we say instead of, I'm fine, thanks? We can say, I'm good. You can shorten this to good if you're feeling relaxed, or pretty good. I'm well. Like with I'm good, you can shorten this to well, or great. I can't complain. Okay, so sometimes you're not feeling so fine, or well, or good. Sometimes you just want to say that things are, well, kind of just okay. So what could we say here? We could say, I'm okay, or so-so, not too bad. Same old, same old. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm alive. This one's kind of a joke that suggests you're just about surviving life. Or you could say terrible. If you're not feeling too great, but you don't want to sound like you're complaining too much, then you could say, well, I have been better. Or same as always. Or I can't complain too much. One interesting fact to remember, though, is that quite often, when a native speaker asks, how are you? They are often simply being polite. They're not actually asking about your health. So sometimes, if you do respond with an actual health issue, it may take them by surprise. They would then politely ask what is wrong, and you would then have to answer. So, oh, I have a stinking headache, or I have such a stressful day at work, etc. Well, that's it. So now you've learnt some English phrases on how to introduce yourself. I recommend you watch the video a few times so that you fully understand the differences. Don't forget, this is only part 1 of a 3-part series, so don't forget to watch the other 2 when they're released. As always, I've prepared a downloadable PDF with some notes for you. So if that interests you, please just click on the link below and you'll be able to download it right away. If you're struggling on a specific area of English and you would like me to do a video on it, please let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I hope you liked the video, and don't forget to press that all-important like and subscribe button below. See you next time. Bye!